Pokemon trainers, how's it going? Long time no see since Christmas and all of the holidays are finally over. We're now into January and today we're gonna do a January legendary raid counter guide. Alright Pokemon trainers, how's it going? Welcome to or welcome back to the channel. I gotta give my spiel like I do in every video. If this is your first time on the channel, it's a Pokemon Go / kind of Switch Pokemon Animal Crossing type channel. So if that's something that interests you, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And thanks so much if you do. Now that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this. So for the month of January in Pokemon Go, we have some legendary raid bosses that they've been here before. We have a new one, sort of new one. So I can't say that it is the best month for legendary raids in Pokemon Go, so if you find these raid bosses to be kind of boring, close your wallet. Your wallet's gonna get a month off. However, if you are still here looking to go after any of these shinies or any of these hundos, this video is going to tell you how to do all three coming to the game in January 2022. So depending on when you're watching this video, you might still see Kyurem in raids. So Kyurem is staying in our legendary raids through January 7th. So I hope you all were able to find that shiny Kyurem, Shundo Kyurem if you were lucky. But replacing Kyurem on January 7th at 10 a.m. local time is going to be Heatran. So Heatran is making its Pokemon Go return, which means that they are going to be available in shiny form. We've seen this Pokemon hit raids several times since its initial release, however far back that was. And honestly, even though their shiny isn't that different from its normal form, I love the pink eyes on this one. So now I already have my own shiny. Let me know down in the comments if you need this shiny and if you're going to be hunting it once it gets back into raids. So anyway, Heatran is going to be in legendary raids from January 7th and they're going to stay all the way through Saturday, January 15th, also at 10 a.m. That's when it's going to switch to the following raid boss. So for any of you who already have the shiny and are going to be out there hunting for the Shundo or the Hundo, you'll want to look out for 2145 CP in non-boosted conditions or 2681 boosted by snowy or sunny weather. So now even though a lot of us are probably like, oh great, Heatran's back, we already have a million of these, this is really the perfect Pokemon for the January month because based on its typings, that means both the southern and northern hemisphere can celebrate this Pokemon in the weather that we likely have. So up here in the north, a lot of us are probably experiencing snow, while down in the south, we're seeing a lot of sunny weather. So this is the perfect January Pokemon raid boss. As much as we might dislike it, it's a pretty fair global January legendary raid boss. So now Heatran can actually be duoed as long as you have high enough level trainers with high enough level Pokemon, especially if the weather is working in your favor. If you're best friends with the fellow trainer that you want to duo this with, these factors will all come into play and help you be able to duo that. However, you're going to want about 3 to 6 highish level trainers to take on Heatran and knock them down pretty easily to make sure you get better rewards and more balls to be able to catch them. So now because of their typing, which is fire and steel, this is going to make Heatran double weak to ground type Pokemon and ground type attacks. So essentially you can go into this battle with a full party of ground type Pokemon as long as they have ground type moves, and you're going to do pretty well with that team. So in this video today, we're mostly going to cover the ground type Pokemons that you're going to want to put out the lead of your party to make these raids easy on you and your team. So now your best ground type bets to take on Heatran are going to be Garchomp, Groudon, Rhyperior, either form of Landorus, Therian or Incarnate, Excadrill, Golem, Donphan, or Swampert. Now on these Pokemon, especially ones like Excadrill and Swampert, you're going to want to double check those moves and make sure that they have ground type moves. And essentially the moves you're going to want to focus on for all of these Pokemon is Mud Slap or Mud Shot for your fast attack, and then Earthquake or Earth Power for your charged attack. Now if you don't have any of these moves and you've got some Pokemon with other ground type moves, those are also going to do well. Really the only thing you need to focus on to take down Heatran is ground type Pokemon, ground type attacks. Power those babies up as high as you're able to and get on in and battle those Heatrans. Next up, replacing Heatran on January 15th at 10 a.m. is going to be Genesect holding a shock drive. So just in case you don't already know, Genesect has many different forms in Pokemon Go based on the drive that they are holding. So in Pokemon Go, unlike some of the other franchise games, essentially we're getting all different types of Genesect rather than having the one item that you can use on a Genesect. So that means that every single time a new drive version of Genesect gets released into the game, it is considered new, which unfortunately means it is not available in shiny form. Now this is disappointing because shiny Genesect is such a cool shiny legendary, but but unfortunately for this time around, we're gonna have to just do our hundo hunting. For that hundo shock drive Genesect, you're gonna wanna look out for 1916 CP in non-boosted conditions, or 2395 boosted by rainy or snowy weather. Shout out to the Northern Hemisphere. I'm pretty sure we're all getting rainy and snowy weather, so there's a pretty good chance that we'll be seeing a lot of boosted Genesects up here in the Northern Hemisphere. So now, despite the fact that this Genesect has a shock drive, which is going to give it an electric type move, specifically for this go around, it's going to be Techno Blast. So this is what we've seen on our previous Genesect release. You're just getting that Techno Blast, and it's gonna have the version of Techno Blast that matches its drive. So in this case, it will be an electric type Techno Blast attack. However, this drive doesn't actually change the form of Genesect, so we're still gonna be seeing a bug/steel type Pokemon in raids in this Genesect. Now, before we go into the counters, Genesect is a pretty easy Pokemon to take down. It can definitely be duoed again. Now again, if you are going to try to duo this, you're always going to want to make sure that the higher level trainers the two of you are, the better. Weather conditions in your favor, best friend bonuses in your favor, and just double check that both trainers do have their Pokemon powered up as high as they possibly can get them, just to make that duo really realistic for you. Now, if you aren't someone who likes to duo, Genesect can be taken on pretty easily with about 3 to 5 trainers. Again, the higher the levels, the better. It's always kind of worth looking at your lobby and trying to figure out the average level trainer that you have in there. Of course, if you've got lots of level 40 trainers, you should be okay. If you've got a few level 50 trainers and then a few lower level trainers, you're probably also going to be okay. So just make sure to do a little bit of consideration of what's in the lobby when you go in to do this raid, and always make sure to leave with enough time that respects the other trainers you're training with. I always like to leave about 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds on that countdown to give all trainers a chance to leave if need be. Okay, so Genesect as a bug and steel type Pokemon, they're going to be double weak to fire. So just like we did with Heatran, we're really going to focus in on fire type Pokemon and fire type attackers for this Genesect, because that's really all you need. Now, being weak to fire, that gives us several options for a Mega Evolution Pokemon. So if you're really going to be going after this Genesect, looking for that hundo, your best bet is going to be to Mega Evolve the top 3 Pokemon, which is going to be number 1, Charizard Y, number 2, Charizard X, and then number 3, Houndoom. So if you have enough Mega Evolution energy for any of those Pokemon, consider popping that on, particularly maybe for the raid hour, so that you can have that Mega Pokemon going the entire time to boost you in battle. Especially since most other trainers are likely going to be using fire types as well, your Mega Evolution is also going to give all those other trainers boosted fire type Pokemon in that battle. So now on either of those Charizards, you're going to want the moves Fire Spin and Blast Burn, and then on Mega Houndoom, you're going to want Fire Fang and Flamethrower. So double check your Houndoom, make sure that it does have fire type attacks and not dark type attacks. Next up, if you're not going to Mega Evolve a Pokemon, that's just fine. You're going to want to consider really strong fire type Pokemon, with your number 1 being Reshiram. And you're going to want that Reshiram to have Fire Fang and Overheat. Next up, you're going to want to consider a Shadow Moltres if you have one. You can also bring in a regular Moltres, but Shadow Moltres is going to be a bit better than a regular Moltres or a Purified Moltres. And on either one of those, you're going to want Fire Spin and Overheat. Going down the list, next up is going to be Chandelure with Fire Spin and Overheat, and then Darmanitan with Fire Fang and Overheat, or finally Blaziken with Fire Spin and Blast Burn. Next up, conveniently, another Pokemon that's going to do really well is Heatran. If you are battling Heatran the previous week and you get a good one, it's going to be a really good time to power that up and bring that in for the rest of the raids in January. You can also bring in strong fire type, some of the more accessible Pokemon such as a Charizard, a Flareon, other starters like Infernape and Typhlosion with fire type moves. Any of those are going to work really well also. And hopefully any raids you go into, someone's going to have a Charizard or a Houndoom Mega Evolved, which are also going to boost your fire type Pokemon anyway. Okay, and then finally, to close out the month of January, starting on Monday, January 24th at 10 a.m. and lasting all the way through February 1st at 10 a.m., we're going to be seeing the return of Regice. Now, honestly, we have seen a lot of this Pokemon, so this is probably one of the least exciting Pokemon that we're going to be seeing this month, or probably all year, to be honest. But they are available in their shiny form, and I, for one, still do not have Regice in their shiny form, and I've done a lot of raids, so I'm probably going to open up my wallet for this one. Also, let me know down in the comments if you already have a shiny Regice, if you have a Shundo Regice. Maybe that'll be my first Shundo. Anyway, if you already have the shiny and you're going to be instead Hundo hunting Regice for this go around, look out for 1784 CP in non-boosted conditions, or 2230 boosted by snow. So again, even though it's not the greatest Pokemon, we've seen this several times in the past year, it is now returning in a time where there are a lot of areas of the world receiving snow. So it still kind of makes sense. You get a chance to go out and catch some boosted ones if you're in any part of the globe where you're experiencing snow right now. So now for Regice Regice, this one is a little bit beefier of a boss. I don't think it can be duoed. I mean, if you have the exact perfect conditions, maybe, but I'm going to recommend not trying to duo this one. For Regice, you're going to want at least 4 high-level trainers to take this on easily, to make sure you get enough balls so that you don't have to sit around for 3 hours doing one single Regice. You're going to want as many trainers as possible, especially during the raid hour, because you're going to want to grind through all of that. So now Regice is just a pure ice type Pokemon, so it's going to have quite a few things that it's weak to, fire being one of those. So like I said earlier, we've kind of got a fire-driven month. We've got Heatran starting us out at the beginning of the month, giving you a really good opportunity to catch a good Heatran. You could bring that in to fight Genesect as well as Regice. And also, if you did go after Genesect and you powered up a bunch of fire-type Pokemon for Genesect, you might as well just go ahead and bring that same fire-type party over to Regice, because they're going to do really well there. However, Regice does have some other options, including a weakness to fighting, rock, and steel type Pokemon and attacks. So for this one, if you want to do a Mega Evolution, again, you're probably going to want to consider doing a Mega Charizard Y, followed by Mega Charizard X, followed by Mega Houndoom with fire type moves, the same ones we talked about for Genesect, which will be Fire Spin and Blast Burn on your Charizard, or Fire Fang and Flamethrower on your Houndoom. Now, in addition to these fire type Pokemon, you're probably going to want to throw your strongest Metagross in there with steel type attacks. This includes Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash on a Metagross. So double check, make sure they don't have Psychic or any other type of move. You want the steel types on that. And then back to fire type Pokemon, you're going to want to consider Reshiram with Fire Fang and Overheat, and then Chandelure, Entei, or Shadow Moltres, or regular Moltres, all of those with Fire Spin and Overheat. Again, you can also bring in a strong Heatran if you were able to catch one, or if you had one from way back, with Fire Spin and Flamethrower. Now remember, Heatran is fire and steel type, so it's going to do really, really well against Regice. And then finally, you can also bring in a Darmanitan with Fire Fang and Overheat, and then any of those more accessible fire type Pokemon that we talked about earlier. And if you want to throw some other types of Pokemon into that mix, definitely consider either a Conkeldurr or a Machamp for fighting type with counter and dynamic punch. And then lastly, you can also bring in a Rampardos with rock type moves, Smackdown and Rock Slide. Okay, trainers, that is going to do it for our January 5-star legendary raid boss guide. I guess Genesect is mythical, so we'll just go with 5-star for this one. Now again, even though this isn't the best month of legendary raid bosses that we have seen, they're just still kind of globally climatically relevant, so it does make sense. But it's also a really good time to kind of close that wallet up just after the holidays, just after the 2 amazing holidays and New Year's events. I hope you all got a ton of shinies. I actually caught a ton of shinies for once in my life. Actually, if you're still here, I'm gonna go ahead and pop my shinies up on the screen to the side of me. So I got super lucky and I finally caught, all of these were my first shinies of these. And I was so excited to get shiny Delibird, shiny Costumes Feel right before the regular shiny is going out to everyone for January's Calm Day. And then shiny Snover, which I found in the wild. I also went ahead and did a trade with my husband. I ended up hatching my first 2 Axews back to back. And my husband still didn't have one, so I traded one of those Axews for one of his extra shiny Snowrunts. Unfortunately, I can't evolve that to Frostlass, but I'll have to get another one next year when they're back. Okay, trainers. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, especially if you stuck around all the way to the end here. If you did, let me know down in the comments which of the shinies I caught are your favorite. Also, let me know what you caught too. And that being said, we'll see you really soon in the next video. It's a new year. I'm excited to continue making all these videos for you, and hopefully we'll be able to do even more this year. We'll see what happens. Happy New Year. I hope you have a great January. Enjoy kind of a slow month in Pokemon Go, and I'll see you soon. Bye.